We just saw X-Men Apocalypse, and on this show I take my friends, we go see a movie, we review it here in the car, and then we have a discussion. This video is spoiler-free, so if you're on the fence or looking for a recommendation, you can watch this video to find out what we thought. And if you have already seen the movie and want to see the spoiler version, check out the other video, X-Men Apocalypse, movie discussion with spoilers. I was really looking forward to this movie. I really enjoyed Days of Future Past. Could not be more excited for it. I think if you watch the review of Days of Future Past, I was pumped and ready to go for this movie. And this movie doesn't have it. It just doesn't have it. It's super long. It's a disaster movie instead of being a comic book movie. Doesn't really know what to do with all the characters that it's got going on in it. Just lots and lots and lots of negative from me. There's a couple of sequences that are fun, that are interesting, but for the most part, this felt like a chore to watch, honestly. I'm not a huge fan of disaster movies in general, so all of that kind of stuff was just a waste to me. It didn't work for me, so I don't recommend it, and I would stick with your happy memories of Days of Future Past if you've seen that one. So, what'd you guys think?
I can't say that I've caught up with all the X-Men movies, but the ones that I've seen here and there have been better, by far, much, much better than this movie. I feel like there's a lot going on in the movie, and not all of it's sequenced together really well. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of action.
You gotta talk over the rain.
But it doesn't really make much sense sometimes. Like, there's points where you think that it's gonna kind of weave together, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna make a point. Doesn't happen. It's a very long movie, and you feel every bit of the, was it 2 hours? And
Oh, it's over 2
yeah,
hours.
a little over 2 hours. Yeah, I don't recommend it. I wouldn't go out and see the movie unless you really wanted to.
What do you guys think?
You know, I was a really big fan of X-Men First Class. I did not like Days of Future Past. This one I thought was better than Days of Future Past, but still not as good as First Class. It was serviceable for me. I agree that it was more disaster epic. It felt like a Roland Emmerich film.
Yep.
But it was still, to me, fun to watch. But that was it. I wouldn't recommend going and spending money on it. Just pick it up at Redbox or something.
I think I may have liked it more than the rest of you, but especially the first act. I thought the first probably third of it was definitely my favorite part of it.
Really?
It was, yeah, I thought what I would think of as the first act, which I won't get into spoilers here, but just up to maybe probably the first 25 to 40 minutes I thought was the best. It felt to me like more like a Marvel Universe movie at that point than an X-Men movie, which I think I'm saying that in its favor.
Sure.
After that, I felt similarly to the rest of you, or at least the two of you in the front, where it just became a disaster movie. And I like disaster movies, but this was just kind of a very run-of-the-mill disaster movie. It didn't really hold my attention. I kept feeling myself just like, oh, I'm losing focus. I need to focus on this movie, and it was hard for me after that point.
Okay.
So I would, if you're an X-Men fan, and particularly of X-Men movies, I would recommend it, but for anybody else, no.
It was probably the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Just kidding. No, to me, I enjoyed it because of just all the stuff going on, but it is a bit of a CGI fest, and it kind of reeked of just reboot sequel-itis. I was really surprised that there was just nothing surprising about it. Just the usual story arc, and to me there was no tension towards the end because you kind of knew what was going to happen, and it was just so predictable with very few surprises. But definitely a value for money film in that there's lots of money on screen, and you see all that crazy CG stuff going on and on and on. But yeah, kind of don't really know what to say about this one.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of bang and flash, and there's a lot of attempts at things, but yeah, it's sloppy as hell.
Yeah, it didn't feel cohesive, and Days of Future Past I did enjoy, But this one, like, just the pacing seemed off, and there was a lot of just random threads all trying to pull together by the end that just felt really predictable or empty.
Yes. Yep. So that's our review. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written video reviews at dalemaxfield.com, and thanks for watching.